what I used to do is I would start off my diets, my personal diets, with a 2 to 4 week keto prep period. And I call that like a washout period. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to kind of create some type of program where you're able to eat and cut out the shit. And you're trying to basically get your cravings under control. And that during that washout period, okay, that clean out period where you're going from, hey, I'm eating whatever I want, to I got to try to create structure. Ketogenic diets really helped, because what I would do is go keto, get the cravings down, and then go into a clean cyclical bodybuilding type diet, and then cycle my carbs and go into it. And I have done that in the past with athletes, but most of the time I don't need to, because they're in much better shape than I was, because I would only compete like once every couple of years. And, or it would just, again, this was me, I was natural, the whole situation. So that's the way I would do it. And I'd like to do that a little bit earlier, like at 16 or 18 weeks out, and then do that for 2 to 4 weeks, and then go into a prep. Now for clients, national level guys that are getting ready to try to get their pro card, guys that are getting ready to try to qualify for, the Olympia or get on the Olympia stage, it's not needed. So a lot of people have told me, and I had this conversation with Dave Palumbo before, where Dave says, oh yeah, keto. But if I got a guy who can do 300 grams of carbs and get striated glutes, then why do I need to go keto? But I know that it's going to be a detriment to the loss of the 3D physique that I'm looking to build, where you want glycogen-rich muscle fibers. So what you're trying to do is go, okay, well, let's not use a one-size-fits-all tool and go into a prep with something that may end up looking better if you can use carbohydrates to some degree. So I think that ketogenic works really, really well for those that are closer to like a sedentary lifestyle, for those that have issues with cravings. I feel like people who want to eat less often because of the situation they have with their work schedule. I think that there's things like, fasting, intermittent fasting that you can also add in. But all in all, do I like it for prep? No, I don't feel that it conducive of a good result.
So you've worked obviously with the best bodies in the world. A keto body, does that lose a lot of fullness?
You do lose
a ton? Does
yes.
the body look different?
It does, especially if you go for a long time. Anybody who's ever dieted will tell you that once you start getting the glycogen stores low, what's going to happen is you're going to get leaner, because otherwise you're just burning the glycogen. But once you get to the point where you're starting to burn more body fat, you're going to end up getting a leaner look. Now, there's going to be a balancing act between trying to lean out and flattening out. But if you get too flat, like flat, I'm talking about flat, like, man, I didn't look good until like 2 days after the show flat, then it's really bad, right? Because then you're like, oh man, the fuck up fairy showed up and was definitely, that was not good. So what happens is you really need to kind of balance out the difference between staying full to a degree and continuously getting leaner. So that is something that a lot of coaches, when they start dealing with bigger guys, have a problem with, because you can't use cookie cutter methods, because you have to really understand where the key points are, and you have to get a topographical map to be able to understand what a person's body is getting ready to do, and you have to get through that, just like the fog of war, I call it.